Come in. Take a seat. So I understand you're looking for a job opportunity.
Yes. I want to be an actress.
Well, hello guys, and welcome to yet another episode of Saint Robert's Daygame podcast. And this podcast episode is gonna be with this lovely lady, my girlfriend, and we're gonna ask her a bunch of questions about Daygame. What does she think about Daygame? What does she think about Daygame as my work? And a bunch of questions you guys from our Daygame Church Telegram group chat have sent in and questions you have asked on Twitter and YouTube. Let's go. As always, before we jump into this week's topic, a few updates about the travel plans, coaching spots, etc. So one is all the coaching spots in Europe and USA this year are sold out. They're completely booked, and when it gets colder in this part of the world, I'm usually going to a warmer place. Last winter I spent in Argentina, winter before that in Mexico. Now I'm going back to Argentina again. I'm arriving there in November. To spend quite a few months actually there, and I will have a few coaching spots there. So if you are a crazy nomad or a traveler, or you're going to Argentina because you heard that the most beautiful girls in Latin America are in Argentina and Brazil, and you want to learn Daygame there, then click on the link in the description, read about how coaching usually works, fill the form on the bottom of the page, mention that you're interested in Argentina, and I'll get back to you with all the details, the dates, prices, options for cities, etc. Apart from Argentina, I have no idea what's going to happen with the coaching spots for the rest of the winter. I think I will be in Brazil in April, but I will be back in Europe in May. So if you are someone completely crazy like those two guys from New Zealand who last November booked me for this August, if you already know next summer I want to learn Daygame, well then hit me up, I'll send you what information I can. But that's it about the coaching spots, and now let's start interviewing this lovely little girl. First question, not even written down. Tell the guys, how did we meet?
We met, I was working at my school's fashion show at the place where you give a coat and I give the number.
Cloakroom.
Okay. And he came to go to talk to models. Like, he wasn't invited.
But I tried to get in.
And he came, he gave me his jacket. And when he gave me his jacket, he told me that if you lose it, I will spank you. And I was like, oh, maybe I should lose it.
No, you were not.
No. And yeah.
And then I came back for my jacket. She hadn't lost it. We chatted a bit. I said, hey, come aside for a second, because I didn't want a number close in front of all the friends and everything. And then, well, the rest was history. Okay. Oh, yes. And when she answers to the question, she's going to give her story. She's going to give her answers. But if there is something in the questions where I can add, or maybe there are some misconceptions about the Daygame in the question guys sent in, and that's definitely the case in some of the questions, then I will chip in for those questions. Okay, what are your thoughts on Daygame?
I think it's an interesting way, not an interesting way, but to meet girls.
Interesting.
Not interesting, I don't know.
You know, when you go
it's hard to explain.
When you go to a restaurant and they ask you how was the food and you say interesting, that's basically the worst thing you can say. It could mean it's a weird way, it could mean it's a great way, it's so interesting, oh my god, so interesting doesn't really describe, so yeah, can you give guys some more input?
No, not better to do Daygame, but it's better to meet people in life than maybe Tinder, because it's more interesting, you can feel the energy.
So the problem with Tinder is that you can't feel the energy of the person?
No, yeah, but like, you know, in Tinder you can tell everything, but in person it's like not going as well. So you might talk to someone on Tinder and then they seem really interesting, and then you meet them and they're super awkward, is what you mean? Whereas if they approach you on the street, you already understand what type of a person this guy is going to be. Yeah.
Okay, so if he's weird, then he should stick to Tinder?
No. No, he shouldn't. He just needs to go to you, and you will teach him.
Okay. Okay, that's actually one of the questions we're gonna be talking about what you think about daygamers running around and then saying the same things to every girl and then uh, okay, what are you, well, this day game community, obviously, guys. So when guys come to me to learn day game, they come with three goals. One could be they wanna sleep with a lot of beautiful girls. Another could be they want a wife on yesterday. This is very rare, but it happens. But there are guys that want to have a lot of fun, sleep with many beautiful girls, and then eventually like build up a skill set so they can meet the girls they actually like a higher caliber. But still, that's down the line, and until then, they're gonna be having a lot of fun. So, what do you think about guys fuckboying around the world with day game?
Well, it's not hurting anyone. Maybe, okay, if the girl gets attached to him, then yes, it hurts her. But, yeah, because not only guys wanna go around and fuck everyone. Some girls wanna do that too.
Are you a little slutter? Is that what you're saying?
No, not me.
Everyone else. Everyone else. Yes, well, exactly. Girls also want to get laid with the right guy that maybe they know something about. Not in a situation where he shows up and turns out to be a complete weirdo on a Tinder date. How many times would you say, more or less, have you been approached on a street by a guy?
Actually, only the one time I told you about this summer.
Never anyone has started
No.
chatting up with you, tried to chat you up on a street.
No. No.
Okay. What about bars? How often guys come up to you in a bar?
And when I was going to bars, then actually a lot.
Because when you were out with your colleagues and I was sleeping. That was the day when I was leaving to go to Sweden, I think. And you came home and you also said, "Oh yeah, fuck." Like again, someone tried to talk to me or to one of your friends, and you said something about that. And I think you said that you were kind of rude about blowing him off.
No, the girl was like she was asking, not asking, but like telling me that she was meeting with a guy yesterday and now that he isn't even like saying hi to her and stuff like that. And I was like, well, he got what he wanted.
There was some part about that, but whatever. Yeah. Okay. So you haven't been approached much on the streets. The time you were going out to meet me and on the way to meet me, some guy approached you. How was his approach? What did he do?
Like he saw me, he went by, and then he came back and was like,
good.
"Oh, I really like your tattoos," and I'm like, "Thank you." And then he's like, "Let's go for coffee," like immediately, and I'm like, "No." Then maybe for tea, and I'm like, "No." Tomorrow, I'm like, "No." And then he just like kind of went away.
Yeah, because this is a mistake that students also sometimes make. They are very results oriented, trying to get the date, trying to get a date, trying to get a number, without focusing on having a good conversation first. And of course, if the conversation is good, then well, it's a different result than just asking for an date there and then. 2 days ago, you came out with me when I was coaching a student. So you've heard me do coaching calls, like when you have been in a room and I do coaching calls with guys, and so you kind of heard me working a little bit, but you've never seen me coaching someone in person in field. And we went out with a student, and you were observing, you were even listening to his conversations with girls, to his sets. So what do you think, or rather, how my job is different from what you thought it would be like after you saw me coaching a student?
I don't know. Like I imagine that you just go and you see, and the student just like goes immediately to her. But no, it was kind of funny because we are going, the girl goes by, and the guy, he just runs after her. I think that was very funny.
Why was it funny?
I don't know.
Oh yeah, he used to catch up to her, you know, she's walking fast.
Yeah, but yeah, that was.
Oh, you thought that he would approach a girl as soon as he sees it, even if she's walking towards him.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a bad idea. It doesn't work as well. It works better if he lets the girl go and then runs after her and
Okay.
kind of stops her from the front. Uh, okay, what other thoughts do you have about the day when we spent out together with the student?
I wasn't expecting so many points that you gave him. Like every conversation, he had like 5 points to like improve his game, and I was like, oh my god, like you know so much. How do you know so much?
It's a gift from the god and thousands of approaches. Okay, so and you saw the student do around 10 approaches and you saw the reactions he was getting. Some girls just kind of walked around him, some stayed in, had nice conversations, he even got some numbers. So your view about how hard or easy Daygame is before and after you saw it in person?
I thought it was kind of easy, but now it's not easy because it takes a lot of courage to go talk to girls and talk to them and like change topics. Like almost every 2 sentences, you need to change topic.
You need to know what to talk about, what to
Yeah,
say.
like there can be like that silence, long silence, because then it's not going well.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's hard, and you're very brave to do it.
Yes, guys, you're very brave to do it. Okay, now let's go to a question that one of the guys from the group chat sent in, and there will be a little explanation needed, and there will be quite a few comments from me about this question. What does she think about guys running around all day and saying the same thing to every girl and being successful in seducing girls that way? So, when guys are learning Daygame, they're actually saying the same thing when they open a girl. You probably noticed that as well when they was coaching a student. Like he was saying, oh, you looked so relaxed, like you're coming from a yoga session or you're on a holiday. And then, oh, by the way, you don't look Polish, you look more Ukrainian or Belarusian. So it's a lot of the lines are the same and guys are using them and they're still getting laid using the same lines, using a lot of copy-paste stuff. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well,
Oh, and there's a comment in the brackets, you being no exception in the way I seduced you. Like it's basically the same thing. And this is the part I'm going to comment on later. So what do you think about guys running around and using the same lines on everyone?
well, it's like again Tinder. Like guys on Tinder use the same lines too. It's like if he goes to you, then you know that he noticed you. So that means something. A little bit, but something.
Something. My comments on this are gonna be, this is one of the misconceptions about Daygame, that Daygamers do use the same lines. And yes, most Daygamers use the same lines, at least, well, I'm not talking about guys that are just going and being themselves and you know, not getting almost any results at all. I'm talking about guys that are learning London Daygame model and actually getting some results. Yes, most of the guys are using a lot of copy-paste stuff, and that is good for beginners and maybe like kind of like lower level intermediates. But as you are getting more and more results, let's say you are approaching that 15 to 20 lays, 15 to 20 lays from Daygame, maybe even closer to 30. Better guys are moving away from copy-paste lines. All of the copy-paste lines are training wheels for beginners and lower intermediates. There is a certain level of results you can get from them, but if you want to get really, really good, you have to learn to be able to be good in any situation, in any setting, with any topic. And that's, I would say, one of the things how you get from intermediate to advanced is you drop a lot of the copy-paste stuff. Yes, the stacks will still probably be the same because you've done them. Like you have maybe every very good high-level Daygamer has like 10 stacks that he has done like hundreds of times, and he knows those stacks work incredibly well. And he will have some stories, but each profession will have a different story. Each city will have a different story. And when something that he hasn't seen before comes up, he will be able to work with that. But that's the difference between that's kind of the difference how you become like a moving to a high level of day game means giving up those copy-paste lines. This being said, beginners and lower intermediates should still use copy-paste stuff most of the time because they need to learn to use it. They need to learn to get laid that way, and then they can move away from all of that. So, and the comment of you being no exception in the way you seduced her, I actually don't use that many copy-paste stuff. Yes, the stacks are the same and many of the stories are the same, but most of the stuff in my sets is it varies from set to set. The structure is the same, but like it's a plug and play framework where you can just plug in what you need, but it's all the things I plug in are always very different. And I approached her in a very different environment. She was working, it was not one-on-one, she was with her colleagues, and there was a lot of blah, 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 hee, ha, ha. It's sort of how you run group sets, with very high energy, high hee, hee, ha, ha attraction, not that much comfort, and then you work on comfort before you go for the numbers, so she kind of knows a bit more about you. So, surprise, surprise, you've been on dates with other guys in your past, so what are the things that were most annoying when you went on dates with other guys?
When they were very serious. Like, let's talk about your job. Let's talk about your family. Actually, I had one date with a guy that he was like, how serious are you about a relationship? Because, you know, I'm getting old and I want to start a family. And I was like, oh God, dude, I'm out.
Did you say that on the first date?
Yes. He didn't get a second date. Don't talk about starting a family on the first date.
What other things were annoying on dates apart from guys being too serious?
Annoying is when guys aren't leading conversation. Because one time I went on a date and the guy, like, he wasn't asking any questions. And I needed to ask him questions to think about what to talk about. And, like, I'm not the kind of person to ask a lot of questions.
By the way, she's extremely shy.
Yeah.
You can see, like, she's extremely shy. She'll get used to camera over time, but...
And yeah, and, like, I don't talk very much. And, like, he wasn't, like, asking any questions. And I was like, oh my God, and this is gonna end. I want to go home, because, like...
Also, still, yeah, he wasn't asking questions, but you still wanted to go home.
Not with him.
I know, I'm joking.
Yeah, it was very bad. So maybe if you don't like to talk much too, just maybe prepare some interesting questions to ask, so you know, like, some kind of topics that you know that you can talk a long time.
All of this is, by the way, guys, discussed on daygamecourses.com. There is the dating basics course, and then there's all the topics you can talk about and how to move from one topic to another, and different conversation techniques if you're not a good conversationalist. All of that is discussed on that course there, and that course is completely for free. So if you haven't watched it, with its amazing production quality, but content is still good, so watch that. Then we have a question for me. Have you ever asked for constructive feedback from your girl on how to improve your game and value? No, I have not, and guys shouldn't ask that. Because what I have noticed is girls don't know what they like. When it comes to meeting guys, when it comes to seduction, girls don't really know what works on them. So there's this saying that you don't ask a fish how she likes to be, how the fish likes to be caught. You ask the fisherman, and the same goes for seduction. Yeah, there's no point in asking girls what they like in guys, because, you know, if she's girls are looking for very, very different things. She might be looking for a boyfriend, for a best friend, for someone who takes her for dinners, and or for like a sugar daddy, or just if she meets the right guy, or someone to bang her brains out. It all depends on what you're bringing to the table, and her behavior and what she's looking for will change very much on what you're already bringing to the table. So don't ask girls for their feedback on your game. It's not going to be constructive. You're not going to learn anything from that. Just ask fishermen about how to catch fish. Next question someone sent in: the girls view an escalation or kissing on dates compared to men's logical linear view. Our linear view would be starting from simpler things, maybe checking out her accessories, tattoos, her blue hair, and going up step. And and then leading towards kiss or whatever else. So that's how we usually do it. So what are your thoughts on it? Do you think that's the right way? Do you think there's a better way, or?
I think it's a good way because there's some touching and getting to know. Because I think it would be weird if we are like just sitting, talking, and like no touching at all, and like it's kind of awkward, you know.
Okay. By the way, a long time ago, I did a video sitting on a green sofa. The OG guys, the OG followers who were following me and watching my videos from back in the day when I started, from when I started coaching, there was a video on this green sofa about how to escalate on dates. I did a full video explaining the whole full escalation process, how to escalate like a bad boy. That's the name of the video. And she was the model for that video. I was showing all the escalation moves on her. So like I assume the OG guys actually recognize her from that video, or actually from some other videos on my channel as well. What do you think is the best way when a guy is escalating kind of slowly, more and more? What do you think is the best way to know if he can go for the kiss?
If she's like touching you back in some way, like not only you, blah blah blah, but if she
reciprocates.
Yeah.
That word.
Yeah.
That word. Okay, let's go to the next one. I really like this question. This is a great question because I have thought about this a lot. Would you like your daughter in the future to date Roberts? First of all, not me, but someone like me, because that would be fucking weird, you know, guys? So let's start with, would you like your future daughter to date someone like Roberts?
It's a good question. Maybe not at the time when we first started seeing each other. But now, yes, I think so. Because he's a good guy. He respects me. He loves me. I feel safe with him. So I think I would want the same for my daughter. To feel safe and loved.
And if you have a son, would you like your son to grow up and be like Robert?
Well, I would want my son to be a good boy, but I wouldn't be mad if he would be like Robert, but
so it's better
if like in the middle.
In the middle, what do you mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I can't explain it.
So it's better if he works in a bank?
No, of course not. Not bank.
It's better if he gets married when he's 22.
No, I think that's too soon.
It's better if he gets married when he's 35 and has been with 5 girls in his life.
No, that's too bad.
It's better if gets married at 35 and has been with like 200 girls.
200 maybe, no, but...
Close to that, 165.
Sure, yeah. Why not?
Okay, you see, she wants her son to be like me. Another nice question that I really like, and I see where this question... Oh, no, okay. I want to give some opinions about daughters dating. Because let's say, would I want my daughter to date someone like me, whether it's like me now or like me when I started daygaming? And I've given this a lot of thought. I actually was thinking about it when I started daygaming, when I was like at my most hardcore times. I thought about this question, and the answer was yes. Because I'm very honest with girls. When we started dating, I knew that she was getting very attached, and I would intentionally post Instagram stories with other girls to kind of remind her, hey, you see what's going on, like you remember what's the deal here. So I was very ethical about that in my eyes. So I would want my daughter in the future. I would be okay with my daughter dating someone like me in the future, whether that's me at the craziest or me at some calmer times, not as crazy, like throughout different periods that I've went through. Would I want my son to grow up like me? I would want him to learn the lessons that I learned about life, maybe like 10 years earlier, but it's very hard to do. It's almost impossible to do because, you know, like we're lazy, and I was super lazy when I was like young, and I'm still super lazy. I don't work a lot, but well. So yeah, those are my opinions about. I would want my daughter I would be fine with my daughter doing something like that, and my son, of course, I would want my son to grow up like me because I'm fucking amazing. I mean, I'm going to Argentina and I go wherever the fuck I want. I love my life. I can't even like. I'm so grateful about all the opportunities I have in life. So yeah, definitely. Okay, the next question, and I like this question a lot. I see where it's coming from. Do you feel that you are the one who influenced Robert to settle down, or do you feel like he chose to be with you?
I think that he chose to be with me, because, like, you can't make him do anything that he doesn't want. So, it's his choice to be with me. I didn't, like, torture him to be with me, so...
First of all, guys, I think that the question comes from we're not gonna go into the format of our relationship. We discussed before that that's not a topic we wanna talk about publicly, but we have found a thing that works for us, and we're both happy with it. So I think words "settle down" have very strong connotations, so very strong associations to them, and would imply like living a boring life in a house in the suburbs with a fence and two cars and waking up and going to a bank and living a boring life. Boring for me, something that I would really not enjoy. So I think the question feels like comes from that side. But if not, if the question is about just starting a relationship or not, then obviously yes. So another question that I kind of think it's an interesting question. This question is to me. This might sting, but after sleeping with many girls, do you choose intelligence, sexual chemistry, and other spiritual assets more than looks? I feel that most men do pick looks and lie about it. For me, looks matter. Looks are very, very important, because if a girl is not beautiful, I will not start that conversation. I will not find out that she's intelligent and interesting and we have sexual chemistry and all those other things. Because I might meet a girl who's a really interesting, like, nice girl, but she doesn't have the looks, and that's how, like, I have female friends. Like, we just become friends, but it's never going to be anything more, just because of the looks, because I don't find them attractive enough. But looks is a thing that obviously you have to think about it, because looks kind of go away. A girl might be beautiful now, but 5-10 years down the line, like, looks deteriorate, and there will always be someone hotter. So I personally like to look at the other aspects of the person that are just as important as the looks, maybe even more important, because looks, you can always get looks, you can always get someone hotter. There's always someone hotter, and so I personally look at, okay, how is a person dealing, how is Signe dealing with some challenges she has in her life? Do I think that she's a type of person who, when the looks go away, like late 20s, when you have to kind of start doing something about it, maybe living a healthier lifestyle, going to the gym, and then I have to look, okay, is she the kind of person who could do that? And if she is, then, well, fuck it, she's gonna be hot when she's like 30, 35, 40, maybe even 50, if she takes care of her body. And that's, even looks come down to personality more than what the Mother Nature has given the person. And of course, you kind of see of other aspects. Do you click with, do I click with, like, I like to travel and I really like to be location independent and live in different places. And I have to look at, is she fine with that? Is she interested in that? She's actually, when she's going to Argentina, she's actually quitting her job. She already told her boss she's giving up her apartment. Like, we are moving one way to Argentina for, I don't know, until we get bored or the next coaching season starts. And I also look at what the girl's family is like, actually. Because when you meet the girl's family, you kind of see, okay, how are they dealing with stuff in their family? Are they kind of like the family that is screaming at each other all the time? Or how are the parents like? How does her mom look? Is her mom in her age? Like, is she still good looking or not? And there are many, many aspects I look at, but if the looks are not there, the rest doesn't matter. And if there is only looks but the rest isn't there, that also doesn't work. Those both things have to work together. If you were single, you are 26, right? You're 26, right?
Yes.
So if you were single, and what would be the youngest guy you would go out on a date with?
I actually don't like younger guys, so 26 would be younger.
What would be the oldest guy you would go out on a date with?
I think 40.
Okay. Well, guys, these were the questions I wanted to ask her on camera to talk about these stuffs, and the questions you guys sent in. And this is the first kind of Q&A or Ask Me Anything type of video we did with Signe. But when she comes to Argentina later this year, at the end of this year, we're probably going to do another one. So if there are any questions that you want to ask her about Daygame or about us or whatever, ask them in the comments section so I can answer them the next time we are doing this. Well, that's it, guys. As I said, I will be in Argentina later this year, so if you are a crazy dude that's going down there and want to get some coaching, then get in touch with me. We'll talk all the details, and I will see you in the next week podcast.
Bye.
Take it, like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Ciao, guys.
Bye.